Hi everybody, Teacher Sean here, and today's lesson is Culture, Unit 3, Lesson 7. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to study and attend school in another school in a different country from around the world? Let's find out what it would be like to attend school in another country. Some countries from around the world, such as Japan, England, Vietnam, the students in those countries must wear a uniform whilst attending school. It's compulsory. Compulsory means you have to do it. But in some other countries, such as the United States, kids are free to wear whatever they want. They don't have to wear uniforms. How about you? Do you have to wear a uniform when going to your school? I know I did when I went to school. Let's take a little look at how children get to school. Okay, how they go to school. In most parts of the world, most children either walk to school, take the bus, or get a ride with their mom and dad to school. But some children from around the world get to school by very different means. For example, children in Philippines go to school by rickshaw. Rickshaw is a kind of cart that is pulled either by a bicycle or a man. And in some parts of Bolivia, there's a horse-drawn wagon which takes kids to school. Can you believe it? So, we've just talked about uniform and transportation, how kids get to school. Now I'm going to talk about the duration of the school day, how long children stay in school. In the West, children typically begin their school day at 8 a.m. and finish around 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That's in the West. But in China and Korea, some schools require students to stay after school for extra lessons into the evening. While many children attend school during the day and come home in the evening, some students actually stay at school and don't go home. They stay at school, they learn at school, and they live at school. These schools are known as boarding schools. Students usually go to school on weekdays and have weekends free, so they don't go to school on Saturday and Sunday. However, in countries like Kenya and Russia and Vietnam, children usually go to school 6 days a week, so they usually study on a Saturday too. And furthermore, in France, children don't have to go to school on Wednesdays and Sundays. In some countries, students only focus on traditional school learning, so subject learning, whereas in other countries, students get the opportunity to attend sports clubs, after-school clubs, and take part in organizations such as charities and volunteer work. So, that's some information about some schools from around the world, from different countries. Now, do you remember about what I've said about those countries and those schools and those traditions? Here's a little quiz that you can do. I'm going to give you some time to do it in your own time. Here are the questions. I want you to write true or false next to the questions, and I'll come back in a minute and check your answers. Okay guys, that's it. I hope you finished your quiz. So, first question. Students have to wear uniforms to schools all over the world. True or false? The answer, of course, is false. No, they don't. Students don't have to wear uniforms to school in such places like the United States. Question 2. In some places, students have to use some strange types of transportation to get to school. True or false? And of course, the answer is true. Yes. In the Philippines, some students get to school by rickshaw, which is pulled by either a bicycle or an adult. And in some parts of Bolivia, some children go to school by a horse-drawn wagon. Question 3. Here you go. In most parts of the world, class usually begins at 8 a.m. in the morning and usually finishes around 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon. The answer, of course, is true. In most parts of the world, this is true, but in some countries such as China and Korea, students often work into the evening to do extra studies. Question 4. Here we go. Little bit of a trick question. Students usually go to school on weekends and stay at home at the weekdays. True or false? Of course, the answer is false. Students go to school on weekdays and they stay at home at the weekend. We wouldn't really learn too much if we only went to school 2 days a week, huh? Question 5. Students have nothing to do after school. The answer, of course, is false. In some schools, they have after-school clubs, they have sports clubs, they have organizations for charities and volunteer work. So, in some schools, students have a lot of things to do after school. Okay, let's see how you did. Here are all the questions and here are all the answers to the questions, the true or false. See how you did and write down your score. Right guys, that's the end of the quiz on culture. Now we're going to study a little bit about science. So let's learn something about science, shall we? Okay, well of course it's me, Mr. Sean. And today the topic in science is going to be pollution. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about pollution. I'm going to read something for you, so enjoy, listen and follow along. Here are some interesting facts about pollution. Pollution happens when the environment is dirtied by waste or chemicals. There are 3 main kinds of pollution: air, water and land. Air pollution is caused by natural events such as wildfires, volcano eruptions or wind erosion. But most air pollution comes from burning fossil fuels like coal, oil and natural gas. People burn them to power factories, machines and vehicles. People throw garbage into rivers, lakes and oceans. Factories or cities sometimes release oils, chemicals and other wastes into the water. These actions cause water pollution. Littering or throwing garbage on the ground is a form of land pollution. It makes cities look ugly. It can also harm homes of many plants and animals. There are many things people can do to prevent pollution. People can minimize the use of fossil fuels by using energy from sunlight, wind or water. Recycling is another way to reduce the amount of waste. Recycling is the process of making new products out of used paper, plastic, glass, or other materials. Finally, to keep the environment clean, people must stop littering. Now, let's see how much you remember from the passage. Can you remember the correct cause of pollution? Can you put it in the right column, please? So, what are the answers to the different causes of pollution? Let's start with air pollution. So for air pollution, we have burning fossil fuels, wildfires, wind erosion, and volcanic eruptions. So the two causes of water pollution are dumping garbage into the rivers and releasing dangerous chemicals into our oceans. The main cause of land pollution is littering, people throwing rubbish on the ground. So those are some examples of the different kinds of pollution and how they are done. Now we are going to talk about some preventative measures, some things that we can do to help our environment, to keep it clean and to improve the quality of our earth. Here's a quiz for you. Choose 3 options, actions that we can do to improve the quality of our environment and to help stop pollution. First one, yes, is A, put your rubbish in the bin, throw trash in the bin. And the next one is D, and D, make new things out of cans and glass. And finally, the last one is E, use wind energy. How did you do? Right guys, that is all for today. Thank you very much for sharing this science lesson with me. Our environment is very important and we should all do our part to keep our planet green and clean. What are you doing to keep your environment clean and healthy? I'll see you again in more upcoming episodes. Nice to meet you, nice to see you again, and goodbye.
Hello, it's me again. We'll start our lesson today with some useful reading tips. So, if you've done your homework, you'll notice that in reading part 2, you have to read 3 different paragraphs on the same topic. Each paragraph is written by a different student. So after the reading, you have to guess which student said what. Now, if you remember in Unit 1, we've learned about scanning or read quickly to find the information about what, when, where, who, why, and how. That's for part 1 of the reading session. We only need to read 2 to 3 short sentences. But for part 2, we will need to read more, 3 to 5 long sentences. But lucky, we've already known who said what. Now, we just need to find out other information. So, let's have a look at this paragraph. Ben said all these things about his school. So, what did he say? So, first, we have who is his parents. They are his teachers as well. His sister is his classmate. Where? He studied at home in a mountainous area. Normal school is too far, so he doesn't go or can't go. What? Learn with mom about maths and science. Learn with dad about sports and arts. Sometimes he does gardening and reading. When? No study at weekends. On sunny days, he goes to the local farm. Here's the key information from Alex. Here's the key information about Jordan. Now, we've identified who said what from the main reading. Let's go to the question. Here is the key information from the questions. So if we look at this, we can see that Ben is the one who studies with his sister and the one who can go study on a farm on a sunny day, not in the classroom. So for question number 1 and 5, the correct answer is Ben. So we've done the first 2 questions together. What we should do here is scan the 3 paragraphs to find out who, when, where, what, why, and how. Scan the questions and match the answers. Please go back and double check your answer for the other questions. If you want more practice materials, please head to the checkpoint. Students usually make mistakes with punctuation and capitalization. So let's start our writing lesson today with some useful tips. Let's have a look at the examples. First, remember to put a full stop at the end of every sentence. Second, use the capital letter correctly. We use capital letter with people's names like Alex or Sarah. Names of places like London, England, or Regent Street. The start of the sentence. Days like Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. And months like January or February. Today, we learned how to write an email on the topic of school activities. I know that you sometimes cannot do the homework by yourself. So what should you do? Oh yes, of course, you can ask your friend to help you. So let's write an email to your friend to ask him or her to help you. Before writing, you need to look at the questions carefully. I'll give you some minutes to do that. After reading the question carefully, now you can write your own email. Here's an example. Hello Emma. Mr. Simon gave us science homework last Tuesday, but I haven't done it yet. It's really difficult. Can you help me with it? Let's meet at the library on Lemon Street this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Could you bring the science textbook with you to the library? We need it to finish the homework. See you soon. Remember to check for the capital letters. Look at these words. Emma, Mr. Simon, Lemon Street, Tuesday. Also, do you have all your full stops? Now we'll do some practice. This time you will talk about another school activity, a school exam. Let's have a look at the question. Your friend David didn't come to class today, so write an email to him to tell him about the exam tomorrow. In your email, tell him when is the exam and tell him what to bring to the exam. Write 25 words or more. Now, let's have a look at the sample email. Make sure you have all of your full stops in the correct place. Did you capitalize David's name? That's an easy one, right? Did you capitalize the subject name for math? Very good. You can write your email now. Let's see how much you can remember from this lesson. Let's choose the correct answer. To write a good email, we should A. Read the task quickly. B. Put a full stop at the end of every sentence. And C. Don't capitalize any names. And the correct answer is B, of course. So, remember to read the task carefully and the punctuation and capitalization rules. So that's all for today's lesson. I'll see you next time.
Hi everybody, Teacher Sean, and today we are going to talk about the subjects which we like and the subjects which we don't like. This is Unit 3, Lesson 5. Okay, and we're going to talk about the subjects that we like and the reasons why we like them, the subjects which we don't like, dislike, and the reasons why. In the last episode, we talked about past simple and present perfect for the people who were at school before but aren't anymore. But in this episode, we are going to talk present simple because you guys are still at school. My favorite subject is art because it gives me an opportunity to use my creativity and I can draw about the things that I dream about. I'm also interested in history. The reason is that I can learn about things from the past in my history lessons. I think math and music are difficult subjects for me in school. In math, I have to work with a lot of numbers and remember a lot of calculations. And in music, I often forget the lyrics and can't remember notes for the music. It's a real challenge for me. So those are some subjects which I like and dislike. Now I'm going to introduce some structure to describe how to talk about subjects that you really like, you love, you don't like, you dislike. If you like a subject in any way, you can say, I like math. I'm really into math. I'm interested in math. I'm crazy about math. I really love math. If you find a subject difficult or hard or unenjoyable, maybe you just don't like studying that subject, you can say, I don't like math. I find it difficult. I'm not into math, it's boring. I'm not into history, it's a real challenge. If you think a subject is difficult, then it's a real challenge for you. Lastly, whenever we say we like something and we dislike something, we should give a reason why for and why not. For example, if you like English, well, give your reason for liking it. I like English because it's fun. I like English because it's useful. I like English because I like pop music. Okay guys, let's take a little look at what I said about my favorite subjects. The subjects I like and the reasons why I like them. So, firstly I said my favorite subject is art. And the reason I said I like that subject is because it gives me the opportunity to be creative and draw the things that I dream about. So I like art, and the reason is because it gives me a chance to use my creativity. Okay? The second subject I said that I liked was history. I said I'm interested in history. And the reason why, because I like to learn about things from the past. I'm interested in history, I like history, because I like things from the past. Like, reason. Okay? Now I'm going to talk about the subjects which I find difficult at school. Difficult and hard. I said I find math difficult because I have to remember a lot of numbers and calculations. I also find music difficult because I have to remember all the lyrics to the songs and all the notes for the music, which is a real challenge for me. Okay everybody, I've talked about myself. Now I'd like to introduce another student. His name is Alex, and he's going to talk about the subjects that he likes and dislikes at school, and he's going to give reasons why.
My name is Alex. My favorite subject is English because it helps me make friends with people all around the world and discover many different cultures as well. I like biology because I can learn about plants and animals in this subject. Chemistry and history are difficult subjects at school. The reason is that you have to memorize a lot in these two subjects.
So you've just listened to Alex talk about his favorite subjects and the subjects which he finds difficult. He said why he likes them and why he dislikes them. He's given reasons why. First subject that Alex likes is English. And the reason why he likes English is because it helps him make friends from all over the world, and it helps him to discover different cultures. The second subject which Alex likes is biology. And the reason why Alex likes biology because he gets to learn about plants and animals in nature. Finally, Alex talked about which subjects he finds difficult. And the two subjects which he finds difficult are chemistry and history. The reason why Alex finds these difficult is because in these subjects you have to memorize a lot of things. So that's it, guys. To recap, when you are talking about the subjects which are your favorite, the subjects which you find challenging, the subjects which you find difficult, the subjects which you love, please give a reason why. If you like math, tell them why. If you don't like math, give us a reason why. And that's all for today. Have a good day, and I'll see you again. Bye, guys.